Genetic identity shifters in the future. The question, who are you, may no longer have a fixed answer. Your face, your DNA, even your biological fingerprint could change at will. Identity will become as flexible as fashion, molded by genetics, sculpted by code. This is the frontier of genetic identity shifters, the fusion of biotechnology, nanogenetics, and synthetic DNA design that allows humans to rewrite their genetic code in real time, transforming appearance, traits, and even ancestry. At its core, this technology represents the ultimate mastery over biology. For centuries, DNA was thought to be destiny, a permanent script written by evolution. Now, scientists envision DNA as programmable matter, a code to be rewritten, overwritten, and recompiled. With advanced genetic engineering, you could choose your eye color in an afternoon, alter your facial structure overnight, or adopt entirely new biological characteristics. But genetic identity shifters go far beyond cosmetic change. They allow total biological transformation. Imagine the ability to regenerate fingerprints, alter your scent signature, or mask your DNA sequence from detection. A person could pass through biometric scanners and genetic databases undetected, leaving no trace of their true origin. In a world driven by surveillance, such power would be revolutionary and dangerous. The foundation of this concept lies in programmable genomes and living nanotech. Using gene editing systems like CRISPR-X, a future evolution of CRISPR-Cas9, nanoscaled DNA writers can recode cellular instructions within minutes. These molecular machines carry programmable enzymes capable of cutting, inserting, and reassembling genetic strands while simultaneously deploying nanobots that rebuild proteins to match the new design. A genetic identity shifter doesn't just change how you look, it alters how your body behaves. Your immune system, metabolism, and even neural chemistry adapt to the chosen genetic template. You could modify yourself to survive in harsh environments, become resistant to new pathogens, or enhance cognitive performance through neurogene modulation. In essence, you become a living biological software platform. The technology operates on 3 tiers. Tier 1. Superficial shifting. This involves external and non-critical modifications, altering skin pigmentation, hair growth patterns, or facial symmetry through epigenetic reprogramming. Using specialized nanogel serums, users can trigger cellular metamorphosis, reshaping collagen structures and melanin density. Within hours, someone could appear decades younger, taller, or entirely unrecognizable. For intelligence agents, this is a dream. For privacy advocates, a nightmare. Tier 2. Deep genetic adaptation. This tier targets internal physiology. Users could adjust oxygen efficiency, muscle composition, or bone density. Soldiers might adapt to low-oxygen battlefields or toxic atmospheres. Divers could reprogram lungs for extended underwater endurance. Even sleep patterns could be rewritten, giving humans the ability to stay awake for days without fatigue. This is not fantasy, it's the logical progression of gene therapy and synthetic evolution. Tier 3. Identity reconstruction. Here lies the most extreme application. Full genome replacement. By deploying nanogenetic rewriters, an individual's DNA can be overwritten with another person's genetic pattern entirely. Not just appearance, but fingerprints, blood type, and biological ancestry could be changed. The result is a living replica, someone who could pass every DNA test, medical scan, and forensic check as another individual. At this stage, biology becomes fluid. Identity becomes optional, and truth becomes negotiable. The implications ripple across every aspect of society. Law enforcement would face unprecedented challenges. A criminal could change their genetic identity after every crime, rendering DNA evidence obsolete. Medical records would lose meaning if patients could alter their genetic baselines daily. Immigration systems could be fooled by individuals reprogramming their genetic ancestry to match citizens of any nation. But it's not all espionage and crime. Genetic identity shifters could transform medicine, self-expression, and evolution itself. Imagine cancer patients reprogramming their immune cells in real time to attack tumors. Or refugees adapting their genetics to survive extreme climates. Transhumanists might redesign themselves to express animal traits, bioluminescence, infrared vision, or enhanced healing. Humanity would become an ever-evolving tapestry of biological innovation. The psychological impact, however, could be profound. If you can change your face, voice, and DNA at will, what anchors your sense of self? Would identity become a matter of choice or chaos? Psychologists predict a future epidemic of identity disassociation, a crisis of authenticity where individuals lose continuity between who they were and who they have become. Philosophers argue that this technology could dissolve the concept of individuality. In a world where anyone can become anyone, what does self even mean? Society might divide into two classes: the fixed, who remain biologically stable, and the fluid, who constantly rewrite their forms. Over time, the human genome itself could fragment into millions of personal versions, evolution guided not by nature, but by preference. Technologically, the leap to real-time genetic shifting requires immense breakthroughs in precision biology. Today's CRISPR can edit genes in cells, but not instantly, and not across an entire organism. The next frontier is nanobiotic gene delivery, microscopic drones that swim through the bloodstream, carrying quantum-sequenced DNA code blocks. These nanobots detect, repair, and rewrite genetic information without damaging surrounding tissue. Combined with AI-guided pattern recognition, the process becomes fully automated. This gives rise to the genetic interface, a device worn like a wristband or embedded under the skin. It syncs to a neural implant that visualizes the user's current genome in augmented reality. By selecting from a digital genetic palette, the user can alter traits in real time, as if editing a character in a video game. Skin tone, facial bone structure, and even vocal resonance update dynamically as the system reprograms cells. In elite medical environments, such devices could prevent disease by constantly repairing mutations or optimizing cell performance. But in the wrong hands, they could become the ultimate disguise, identity forgery elevated to a biological art form. To combat misuse, governments and corporations will inevitably introduce gene lock systems, encrypted DNA identifiers that can't be rewritten without authorization. This could lead to genetic monopolies, where access to your own DNA requires corporate licenses. A black market would thrive on unauthorized genome modification, creating an underground economy of shifting identities. Now imagine the geopolitical consequences. Espionage agencies could deploy operatives who change their biology to infiltrate enemy nations undetected. Political leaders could be replaced by identical genetic copies, perfect clones indistinguishable even to their families. The line between human and decoy would blur completely. Truth itself would become a matter of verification, not trust. And then, beyond espionage, comes the existential transformation, post-identity humanity. In this phase, genetic identity shifters evolve beyond deception. They become a tool for exploration and survival. Humans could re-engineer themselves for life on other planets. Martian settlers might modify genes to process carbon dioxide, while ocean colonists develop gills and pressure-resistant skin. Over generations, these custom genetic blueprints could diverge into entirely new species. Self-designed humans optimized for every environment in the solar system. In art and culture, identity shifting could redefine creativity. Performers could alter appearance and voice to embody roles physically. Artists might design entire bodies as living canvases, their skin patterns changing with emotion. Relationships could transcend gender and biology, as partners shapeshift to express connection on entirely new levels. Yet for all its promise, this power carries deep moral peril. If humans can change their biology endlessly, what becomes of accountability? A person who commits a crime could erase their biological identity afterward, leaving justice blind. Corporations could force genetic branding, binding workers to unchangeable DNA contracts. Entire populations could be genetically profiled, controlled, or sterilized through hidden code injections. Religious and ethical debates would explode. Some would see genetic shifting as humanity's divine evolution, others as blasphemy, the destruction of God's design. Governments might ban identity shifting outright, while underground labs continue its development in secret. The battle between control and freedom would move from digital networks to genetic code itself. Beyond the human realm, hybrid applications could arise. Animals could be genetically blended with human DNA to create adaptive, bioforms, agents capable of moving undetected in diverse environments. AI systems could simulate genetic data to predict how people might evolve or react. The merging of AI and biology could even allow digital genetics, where consciousness interfaces with genome programming, enabling instantaneous self-editing through thought. At the peak of this evolution lies the concept of fluid humanity, a species with no fixed form, defined not by race, age, or sex, but by will. In this future, identity is an open canvas. A child born as one person could live as 100 versions of themselves throughout life, never static, always becoming. But with this limitless adaptability comes a haunting truth. If everyone can be anyone, no one may be truly real. Authenticity would vanish into aesthetic. The human story, once told through generations and lineage, would dissolve into streams of mutable biology. Memory, continuity, and heritage would lose meaning in a world where you can rewrite your past by rewriting your genes. Ultimately, genetic identity shifters stand at the crossroads of evolution and erasure. They offer the power to redefine humanity, but at the risk of dissolving what makes us human. Whether they become tools of liberation or control will depend not on the code we write, but on the conscience that guides it. In the end, the greatest shift may not be genetic at all, but philosophical. The moment we can change everything about ourselves, we must finally decide what, if anything, we want to remain. Hey everyone! If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, drop a comment to share your thoughts, and subscribe so you don't miss any of our future uploads. Your support helps this channel grow. Thank you for watching.